elected, he passed up a ride in the papal limousine and travelled on a bus back to his hotel and chose to stay in a simple apartment, passing up the much larger official residence, saying, "I can't live here, I would die. I need people." Pope Francis shunned the lavish regalia of his predecessors and preferred the common touch.
I think a lot of people that was very far away from the church returned to the church because this man can speak in a very simple way to everybody.
His mission was to transform the long-standing conservative image of the Catholic Church. He spoke out for society's most marginalised and called for urgent action on climate change. In 2016, he gave priests the power to forgive women who undergo abortions. He was hell-bent on rooting out corruption in the Vatican's finances and dealing with the horrific legacy of child sex abuse within the Church. And he took his message around the world. A strong advocate for interfaith discussions, he visited more than 60 countries. His travels documented in an award-winning production. The pandemic couldn't stop him. War, the only barrier, leaving him to pray for the victims of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and it brought him to tears. Pope Francis gained a reputation for being approachable and down to earth, often described as the People's Pope, the Pope of the 99%.
People were very struck by his concern for others. I think that was there from the very, very beginning. It's actually the way he's living now as Pope isn't so different from how he used to live as Cardinal Archbishop of Buenos Aires, but that's Pope Francis. He is above all a pastor.
Time named him Person of the Year in 2013, one of many magazine covers he made. As he joined the world of Twitter, he became a social media star with more than 18 million followers, and he became an Instagram influencer. But he had enemies within the Church, his critics saying he strayed too far from the Catholic doctrine. In turn, he complained that traditionalist Catholics were gagging the Church's modernising reforms. He and his predecessor represented different sides of the theological struggle. But when Pope Emeritus Benedict died, Francis presided over his funeral and said he'd seen him as a friend and a guide. Only weeks later, he gave the blessing for George Pell, even as it was revealed the cardinal he called his right-hand man in the Vatican was in private one of his fiercest critics. He suffered
Roma Raja Puvane Namo Namo Roma Raja Puvane Namo Namo திருச்சபையின் தலைவராக செழித்த மாதவா உம்மை நாடி தேடி நமஸ்கரிக்கின்றோம் ரோமராஜ பூவனே நமோ நமோ ரோமராஜ பூவனே நமோ நமோ திருச்சபையின் தலைவராக செழித்த மாதவா உம்மை நாடி தேடி நமஸ்கரிக்கின்றோம் உம்மை நாடி நமஸ்கரிக்கின்றோம் ரோமராஜ பூவனே நமோ நமோ ரோமராஜ பூவனே நமோ நமோ திருச்சபையின் தலைவராக செழித்த மாதவா உம்மை நாடி தேடி நமஸ்கரிக்கின்றோம் ரோமராஜ பூவனே நமோ நமோ ரோமராஜ பூவனே நமோ நமோ வணக்கம்.